Hello, everybody, and welcome to the next part. So yeah. Anyways, let's get straight to the video. All right. So Poland, since it's national, or should I say Polish, because that's actually what it will be. It's that day. So they're able to buy some land from right here and right here. They are even able to buy this land. And speaking of these two countries, not that I even spoke of Sweden, Sweden wants some land. So they are attacking Norway. So they carefully send divisions anywhere they can. They try not to invade other countries. And yeah, they do a pretty good job at that. So, once they get a little bit more land, they ask for a peace treaty. About this much. And Norway accepts. So, they finally get a good amount of land. And Sweden, it looks, interesting. But yeah. Then Finland wants some old land. So they ask for this land, and they buy it. Yeah, that will be 2 apples. Alright, Sweden. So yeah. Anyways, they attack them, and they take this much land from them. So they could connect up with their exclave. And things are looking good for the Finnish. In fact, really good. Except for their ally being gone. Now, let's put on the alliances, because I never got to really do any alliances. I just realized everyone in the alliances, it wouldn't really work because there's really no alliances. So let's form some new ones. So let's start with the new Circle Alliance. And by the way, I'm putting this on a other layer. Alright. So alliance colors will depend on if they're militaristic or economic. Let's start with just a military alliance. And it will be the Circle Alliance. And this looks a lot like a capital. So I'm gonna shift the hue of this a little down to like the yellow. I think I'm gonna actually do this. Yeah, that looks better. So in the Circle Alliance will be the purple team. Why can't I remember that area? But that area, another country in need of help will be the Oh yeah, the Philippines hasn't gotten their independence. I don't know why I put a capital there. Let me just, why can't I erase the capital? Why can't I erase? Anyways. Wait, hold up. Speaking of erasing stuff. Oh yeah, it's because we're not on the right layer. Anyways, yeah. Another country here that will be joining it is this country. They literally have no capital, so they need the support militaristic very badly. And also the Horn of Africa will join this alliance. And that's not the only alliance, because now we're doing the Square Alliance. the square lines will look something like that. And that will be these two. And the red team wants to join, but they know that something that's not their allies in here. So they won't join for now. But interesting enough, the central this country will join it. And the thing will have to be mini because this is a mini country. Anyways, that is all for the alliances. Actually, I'm gonna make a triangle alliance between these three, but it's not really gonna be relevant. So yeah. These are the 3 alliances of the world. Any country is allowed to join any alliance. Well, except for the Triangle Alliance, only African nations can join that one. So, yeah. Alright. So, the next thing that's gonna happen is the erasure of this capital. But like seriously, why is there a capital right here? And capital sizes are 6. Alright. Anyways, the next thing that's gonna be happening is a new country appearing. And that country, I'm staring at you, Iceland, because that's where the new country is gonna be. It's gonna be Iceland. And I'm pretty sure no other country is this color, so this should be a good color. And they take over all of this. And the Icelandics here just decide, since I'm pretty big, let's just put, yeah. But before anything happens, a weird, mysterious black thing pops up. Anything that goes there literally is wiped away in seconds. Literal seconds. No one and nothing has an idea of what it could be. Well, they do, but they don't really think it's that. But before anything happens, something appears in the Indian Ocean. And they realize it's actually an island. And they actually like what the island looks like a lot. So, yeah. They decide to start sending forces to this island, and they really like it. So they keep the island here, and they want to check out it. But the first country to explore this new island is South India. So they take their own claim of here, right here. And by the way, this is just like a colony. It's not fully interpreted into it. It will be in 10 years for here. And I feel like we should add a timestamp of the time, like there actually is in alternate future of the world. We have the time of it here, so yeah. Anyways, India takes all of this land, and they have now incorporated this into their territory. Also, they take on this island. The next country is the red team. They take a pretty good chunk out of it. They take this much out of the island. It's pretty nice, boy. They don't really incorporate it into themselves, but they do make it like a part of them. And the blue team uses the sand dump trick to eventually make a bridge. However, it's a small one over to the island. So they could have that. So they take this area and they take this small-ish territory of it. So yeah. And they decided to make this like a canal sort of thingy where there is water there. But there's like a big opening that could happen. So yeah, it's sort of a canal, but yeah. Anyways, the next thing I'm gonna do here is this country right here will now start to take their own area. However, they're only gonna take this island because, to be honest, that's the only territory that they could take because they're not really stable enough to take more. So yeah. However, this Indian country feels Western India feels like they got literally left out of this. So what they decide to do is they decide to ask if they could get some land from South India. They decide yes, and then they start moving inwards. And they aren't going to take that area because that area is actually going to be split between the red team and the blue team. AKA North and South Arabia. AKA North and South Mesopotamia. Basically, kind of. AKA Mesopotamia and Arabia. Whatever you want to call it. So, they split it. And South India feels like they have tons of coastline for it, so yeah. And so far, they don't even know that all of this exists. They don't even know all of this land exists. Well, the only country that may know is this country. But yeah, they've only informed about this island. Speaking of that country, they have started a landing in here. Because they finally are a little bit more stable. However, the sea line country decides to also make a landing here. And they have tons of land. So without them noticing, they just simply break away. And they just simply rebel without them noticing. So yeah, they think it's theirs. However, then they inform them. And then they're like, oh, come on. But they let it slide. So we have a whole entire new country here. And no, this is not to confuse you with the old greenish country that looked like this. Well, that was here. And this country can expand here as much as they want because they're technically natives. Technically. And they meet up and this country tells them about it. And they also decide to meet up with them. So yeah. there's now just some empty space. However, as they see that another country comes a lot from here, they literally spend tons of time getting over here. And that country is Madagascar. And you now be saying, but there's no Madagascar in this series. There's no Madagascar. How about now, buddy? How about now? Alright, so, jokes aside, the country starts to actually make a landing in here, and they meet up with that other country. And they take this land, and they decide for all of the middle of it to look something like this. Now, George, this is the time that we need you to ask a question. George, ask this question right now. Alright, so the question is, why is there just a capital right there with no nation? They decided that white land is just federal land, and so far this is what the map looks like. Anyways, that will be it for part 2. Make sure to like and subscribe. Anyways, it's time to say bye. Anyways, bye.